All right, guys, it's here, the long-awaited interview with the great Lisa Quine on the show. Lisa, welcome. It's so glad to have
I'm so happy to be here, and it's so nice to see you again.
you. I know it's been a little while. We got a little FaceTime in person at Circles, which was cool. It was my first time there, and it's kind of cool that you were going to be there too.
I know, I'm so sorry. I wish we had more time together there. I was very overstimulated. Those events like really just make me nervous. You have to remember, I'm usually in front of a wall 40 hours a week, not talking to another human being. So like to be in the complete opposite setting is just like it's a lot.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. I get it. No worries at all. I completely get it. All right, so let's jump into it. It's been a little while since I've talked to you. Kind of give us like a brief on for the five people that don't know who you are. Kind of give them a brief on who you
Yeah.
are.
So back in 2017, I was a hand lettering artist, decided to go full time freelance. And I thought like lettering was going to be mostly my thing, but then I started getting mural commissions kind of by accident. People wanted hand lettering on walls, and that's kind of how it started. But then the commissions just turned into murals, and 130 murals later, here we are. I absolutely love it. I found a passion for painting them, and I've gotten a chance to like kind of do them all over the place, but mainly in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, sweet. So I already have a question already. So why did you pivot? Why didn't you kind of just all right? Because it's not like you were okay at hand. You were incredible. So like, why did you pivot? Why didn't you kind of like force feed it? Like, I'm doing a hand lettering, even though they're asking me to do murals, I'm doing hand lettering.
No, great question. I never really had a business plan or a plan in general. I kind of just go where the work leads me. Like people kind of ask me like, "Hey, would you want to do this?" And I just say yes. Like I would love to make art for you. I don't care if it's on a canvas, if it's like digital, or if it's on a wall. I just kind of kept saying yes to everything, and I just wanted to keep working. So it's so weird, but like the client work kind of pushed me towards murals. It wasn't like a drastic, like I'm not a lettering artist anymore. I'm going to do just murals. So it was very organic in that way.
I love that though. Kind of like I love that idea of kind of like where, and I never really thought about it for myself. So like for me, a
Mhm.
lot of people have asked me to do websites. I've been doing a lot of websites. I don't really promote it. I don't really talk about it, but a lot of people have been asking. So I manage a small web agency. So it's kind of funny that you said that. Even though you're like pulled to do this thing that you're kind of known for. For me, it's more like calligraphy and stuff like that. Like, how do you kind of like this is what's paying the bills. This is what's bringing the money. How you kind of stay in that course.
Yeah, this is like a little harder with young kids. I have a 4 year old, well, she's an almost 5 year old and an almost 2 year old. But for anybody else not in this situation, I would say like keep doing passion projects on the side. I mean, I have my like little journal right here, actually, sitting on my desk to tell me like, don't forget me. But like, I just like keep up with hand lettering on the side. It is harder to find time to do it, but it's not like I totally gave it up.
Right.
So yes, the client work pays the bills, and but how I stay fresh and like still find passion for the work is through passion projects.
All right. So since you kind of talked about paying the bills, all right, what are the different ways you kind of generate revenue right
I'm just a terrible example for all things business related. And like speaking of revenue streams, yeah, I'm so sorry, but I just like bring in client work. I don't do artist license, like I don't do licensing or teaching. I'm terrible at teaching. I've done a couple workshops. I'm like, no, I'm like no one's getting anything from this, so we'll just skip that. But yeah, I do client work because right now that's all I can handle
now?
too. Like murals take a huge chunk of time, And like I said, I'm trying to balance parenting too. So right now it's just client work, painting, and parenting.
Okay, I love that painting and parenting. All right, it's sweet, sweet, sweet.
Well, like, look who's talking. How do you balance it all?
I'm not sure I'm a good example either. I try to, yeah, I
We'll just
think,
all try to do our best.
and and I think that's the thing, and I think we should all just try to do our best and be a little bit more forgiving. Of course, I kind of like navigate the temperature of my family and especially my spouse, but I think we should be forgiving of ourselves and not try to be like, oh, this one is doing this, so that means I need to do it
I will say, I the clients who happen to be women tend to understand a little more about the family life. Like, hey, I didn't meet this deadline because my child got sick and had to stay home. So it is not like I love what you said though. Like we should all be a little more forgiving. So I try like even when clients kind of drop the ball on their end with something, like everyone's just trying to do their best. And if you keep that in mind, like the client relationship stuff will be like 10 times easier.
So if you had to give like two, I'm putting you on the spot, but two things like helps you build a quality like client relationship. Like what are two things? I mean, I can tell you one for sure right now. Your attitude. Your attitude is top notch. Like if
I
anyone knows
so
Lisa,
appreciate
your attitude is off the chain.
Yeah, I mean, you like life is hard. Like we're all in this together. If you have like that compassion in your heart, like you don't want to get screwed over too. Like
Right.
if you're the nice guy finishes last, but I've never found that. Like I just try to just be nice to everyone. But oh, okay, two things. Sorry, honing it back in. Two things. Yeah, positive attitude. I will say gets you really far. You know, when you focus on the good gets better. Um, but yeah, just trying to stay like trying to keep in mind you're working with other human beings
Hmm.
and usually creative work is the highlight of their day. Like they're in boring meetings and talking about corporate stuff, but like you're bringing them artwork and it should be fun. And if you have a passion for your own work, that usually translates so well.
Hmm.
I think that's like two things, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sure. I like it. I like it. But there's something you said, like, how do you maintain, like, okay, I'm a nice person, but I also want to make sure that y'all realize that this is a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So like asking for money is always really hard and especially if the bill is like passed. So I just try to like use a lot of exclamation points in my email saying like, "Hey, hope you're having a great day. Your bill's due."
I
I
love
don't know.
that.
Just like keeping it light and funny. Humor goes a long way. I don't know how to like exactly to be funny in emails, but if you could just keep it light,
Hmm.
then that goes a long way too. I did think about like I'm like telling my husband Mark like, hey, what do you think if you worked for me and like you did like the business side of things and kind of did the money stuff because like his emails are just like, hey, this was due yesterday. We need it. Like no love in it at all. But I think like I don't know. That's why some people like to work with me because it is light and cheery. And if we do go off track, we just, you know, kind of huddle and get us back on track. I'm trying to think of like other mishaps.
Hmm.
You know, when I was pregnant, that was a whole ordeal. Trying to do murals, trying to get lifts as opposed to ladders, and yeah, like just working with clients on that. But yeah, like it's just all about understanding and like
Hmm.
finding the humanness of those relationships.
That's sweet. That's sweet. And I think also, like, do you, when you first, I know sometimes you get reached out through email, like with almost every client, do you have a meeting with them before even like booking the, like signing a contract, like a face to face or something like that?
This this is what I need to work on this year. Actually, is that like client journey. It kind of is all over the place just because a lot of my projects are local. So usually it depends on the project. Like if it is remote or I just kind of follow the client's lead on that too.
Hmm.
Like if they want to have a kickoff call, we'll do that. I do have a PDF that shows you my process, like what to expect. So I send that over right away. And if they're great, like we'll just wait for the mood boards to come through and we'll tell you. But yeah, so I like going back to being human and like really trying to like stay human and humanize the process. I do like having a kickoff call so I can meet them and see like face to face. Because face to face, like you can't replace that with
Yeah,
anything.
for sure. I agree with that. I agree with that for sure. All right, so you talk about like a lot of your projects, well, a decent amount of your projects are local. I feel like one of the things I know about you is that you've kind of built this kind of local presence. Like, is there anything that you're doing intentionally? Like, tell me kind of a little bit about it. Like, if someone says, "Oh, I want to be known in my city or in my area for my work," how would they go about doing
I don't know. Like my heart is truly with Cleveland.
that?
I love the city so much and I get inspiration from just like my surroundings here. And so like I think it's just like that passion for the city is a part of me and artwork is so personal. So that comes out. But I'm trying to think of like an helpful advice. So if you do truly love the city, like and you're constantly in it, making connections with other people, actually Made by James just talked about this in one of his emails. It's like your network. Your network is so important. It's sometimes more important than your portfolio. So it is who you know. If you're in your city, like trying to put yourself out there, people will respond. I know Cleveland's so good at this too. Like if you are a small business and you want to win, we will help you do that.
That's awesome.
So I've felt that energy throughout my whole journey.
And it's funny you say that. Like, I've been doing a lot of websites and I don't really promote it or anything. It's all from my network and it's usually someone local that sees, okay, you did this for this person. Can you do it for me? Like, I have not really promoted like my website. It's all through my network.
Amazing. Like how I got into murals too. Like there was a construction company that wanted, I don't know if they're construction, maybe architecture or something. They build buildings. And I did murals for them. And then the office furniture company came through and was like, wow, we really like the mural. Can you do it in ours? And so this like pretty dominant Cleveland furniture company, office furniture, like has murals in their building and God knows how many clients come through their offices and see those murals. So it's just a trickle effect. Like you said with the websites, it's word of mouth.
Hmm.
So the network, like your network, is really powerful.
And I think that's one of the things that I don't know what it is, but we neglect our network. I think if you just even ask your network. If you're looking for projects, ask your network, and you'll be surprised. They may not be come from that direct person, but someone they may know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I've kind of seen this with the LA fires and stuff. I
Hmm.
know is it Jess Miller, who's like pretty big in the lettering and illustration
Hmm.
community, sadly like lost her house and studio, but I see everyone sharing like a link to her Venmo and like I
Mm.
just feel this community, like we're more than just sharing inspiration and
Hmm.
resources with each other. We're like helping each other through major life events too. And I think that's really special.
I love that. So I'll pull out the two things. So first of all, you gotta love where you love where you live at. Love where you gotta love it. Because if you don't love it, you won't have the passion. And tap into your network. I like that. So since you've been full time, what are some? We see all the glamour. Like we see you doing stuff with the Cleveland Indians, and we probably talk a little bit about that. We see all the glamour. Like, what are some of the struggles with just being out there on your own?
Oh my gosh, it is such like the one thing I didn't expect was how mental it is. Like it's all such like a mental game. If you have a strong mentality, it'll get you through everything. But like even if like one project goes wrong, like it could throw your whole mindset off. So having like a good mindset for this is like the key. It is the key to freelance. I will be that bold to say. So like while I'm working, if I'm listening to like self-help books, like it's actually really, really helpful to stay positive. Or just like humor. I listen to a lot of comedians on podcasts and their interviews and stuff, and that is so helpful. Gosh. Yeah, that's like the number one thing you could do is have a positive and
Hmm.
healthy mindset.
Okay. So, what is there anything you would say that you would tell someone to do? Okay, I want to go full time, Lisa, in
Mhm.
whatever it may be. All right, I'll just use myself. I'm not trying to go full time, but I'm using myself. Um, I want to go full time in building websites. All right. What would you say, Daryl? Think about these couple of things before you make this decision.
Yeah, having a good client base, like if your freelance is pretty steady and it's getting so overwhelming that your full-time job is suffering a little bit, like that's a good the universe
Indicator.
telling you like
Hmm.
make the jump. Yes, having a savings account, like living expenses for 3 to 6 months, like just because you do need a financial safety net. So using your full time job to create that like save it, like build a little savings like, stuff in that, like that's really helpful, especially for your mental health. Because like if something doesn't work out in full time freelance, you can always go back,
Yes,
but you
true.
have a little time off too. Um, and then what else? The, I don't know, maybe having a mentor to help you through it. Like it's tough. Freelance is very lonely and you feel like everything like lands on you. It's your responsibility. But if you have a good network of like mentors or people you look
Hmm.
up to, if you feel comfortable like telling like spilling everything to, kind of like a therapist, like a business therapist. That's really helpful as well.
All right, so tell us a little bit about how you got connected with like your first sports team project.
Gosh. So my husband works at Progressive Insurance, and the Guardians got a new like marketing director who used to work at Progressive like years and years ago. So she kind of already like I was on her radar, but they asked 5 artists to submit proposals for a mural celebrating this like Nike City Connect jerseys. And I was like, I really want this. And so I cleared my schedule for a whole week. I did nothing else but think about this proposal and work on the sketches for it. And like, I was in like la la land because I was like only focused on this. But like, I wanted it so bad. And I was like, you know what? I put all the energy and effort I could possibly put into a proposal in this,
Mm,
submitted it, and ended up getting it. So that was just like what a whirlwind. And then they asked me to do like 2 t-shirt designs. Like
mm,
it just goes to show like if you like everything's such a trickle and ripple effect. Like if you put your heart and soul into every project, then people will see that and want it. And like I think that's how I stay busy. Like
mhm.
I just really, really try with almost every single project I can.
I love that, and a couple things like one, like it speaks to like the whole network deal again, because your husband is somebody that used to work at where your husband works at,
Yeah.
and two, like having the margin to like put everything aside to say, okay, I want to completely focus on making this happen and then doing it. I think those are some of the things, just having the margin to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. I think sometimes what happens is we have the opportunity comes, but we actually don't have the margin to do it.
That's so true. And like I know myself, I phone it in for some of these mural proposals. I'm like, yeah, it'd be nice to get this one. And if I have that attitude going into it, I probably won't get it. And I
Mm,
usually don't. But if I really want something and I do put a lot of effort into that proposal, like it usually goes pretty well.
yeah, that's so cool. So it's crazy. Like you don't think like through murals you're designing stuff for like a sports team, but it just you just never know what comes. But that's just again what you kind of just immersing yourself in this world.
Absolutely. Yeah, I never in a million years expected to do anything with like sports teams because I don't put that like in my portfolio. I just don't like try. But there has been like this trend where sports teams are using local artists a lot more.
Hmm.
Like I see it with all over the country pretty much. So I think that's a really cool trend. I hope it's here to stay and it's not a just trend, but we'll see. I don't
Right.
like I think it's with I think the rise of AI
Hmm.
and stuff. Like people want things that are more genuine and done by a human being.
And I think also somebody that they can point to, you know what I mean? Especially somebody local, somebody that it's an actual person that, you've had some press already out there that you are actual real person, not an AI. So it's just like, let's tap into this person because she's been sewing into this city for so many years.
Absolutely. Think too, like it's kind of the work I put out is joyful and
Hmm.
magical. I would probably use those two words to describe like some of the murals. And I don't know, like if that's the vibe it's a good vibe to have because people are usually like, oh, like your murals are so uplifting. We want that for our space.
Hmm.
So that's really nice to have too.
Okay, sweet. All right, so I'm gonna hit you with some off the top fun questions. All right, in
Hey.
current date, what is that thing that you can't live without that's not your phone?
Oh boy, that I can't live without. Probably my dogs.
Okay, okay, I'll take that. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I don't know, like
No, it's fine.
I
It's
mean,
there's no judgment at all.
are you thinking okay, are you thinking of something without a heartbeat though?
No, it doesn't matter. Like I've heard. Listen, I've thrown this question out there, and I've heard so many different. Like it goes from like a warm blanket to like the craziest thing off the wall. So like anything possible. So I'll accept that. What kind of dogs do you have?
Oh, wait. Okay, they're great, but I can't live without my slippers because we have all hardwood floors throughout our house, and I have gone days without slippers, and my back gets messed up for weeks. So, slippers.
You know what? You sound like my wife. Like one of the things she had on her Christmas wish list was like, get me some new house slippers.
Yes, it's the little luxuries in life. I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. Did she
Uh,
love them? Did you get slippers for her?
yes, I did get it, and she loved it. Yeah, she's wearing it constantly.
That's how you keep marriages together. Let me tell
Get
you.
get the slippers.
Comfort, comfort, and listening, and good
Yes.
listening.
Yep. Yep. She got them a couple times. She has to write it down. I'll definitely get she guess what she wants.
I love that we got on the topic of marriage advice, but
Listen,
anyway.
listen, listen, listen. I'm pretty sure we got a few things to share in regards to that, but that'll be another podcast altogether, another episode altogether. All right, a current cool book recommendation, one or
Oh my
two.
gosh, I haven't been reading. I took a break from like audiobooks because I was really into it. I'm trying to think.
All right, the
I
last
mean,
one.
I don't want to say because I've been reading like garbage. I have been reading garbage because it like keeps me on my toes. But I will say that the subtle art of not giving an F, like
Yeah,
way back in the 2010s,
yeah.
rocked my world. And I'm sure there's like other books out there now that have improved on that topic, but I love that book.
That has to be. I have to see what the deal because like I feel like if there's anyone that I know, it has to be a different message in that. Because if there's anyone that I know that cares a lot, it's you. So there has to be like some kind of hidden message within that. Because I just feel like if
Well,
there's anybody that cares about others, it's Lisa Coin.
well, I really like that book though because it's basically let your priorities dictate your schedule.
Okay.
And then I started like throwing myself into work and ignoring everything else in life. And I'm like, oh well, we know where my priorities are. So take it with a grain of salt.
That's true. That is true. All right. So what is the first hour of Lisa's day like now?
We wake up to one of the kids who are awake. We're like, hurry up, brush our teeth, and then go get them because they don't like coming out of the room themselves. Well, River's in a
Oh.
crib, but yeah, so it's get them breakfast, get the dogs outside. It's just morning routine stuff. I wish it was like healthier stuff. Like I wish I woke up and hopped on the bike, you know? That would be a great start to the day, but here we are. We're just like, let's get the kids out the door into daycare. That's the first hour.
But I think you know why I think it's good for people to hear that because I think we have this, we're in this like information age, and one of the things, oh, you gotta get up and you gotta do this, you gotta work out, you gotta do that, and it's like, but like when you see like you're successful, you're doing your thing, but like it's not always like this cookie cutter. It's not always the same. This is just real life.
Exactly. I don't know who's getting more out of this interview, me or the listeners, because this is so nice to hear. Yeah, like we're all just again, we're all just trying our best. So yeah, I don't do anything for myself for the first hour other than like brush my teeth and wash my face. But that's what life is right now. Right now.
All right. So, as far as your process with murals, what is your favorite part of the process?
The beginning, because like anything
Mm.
is possible at the beginning. It's just like, what could this project be? I just love that, like, the opportunity ahead and like the start of the journey because it really could go anywhere. That's kind of where the magic is. Like, me and the client, like, we're working on a team together and we have the opportunity to make this the coolest thing ever, or like, I don't know. There's just so much excitement at the beginning, and then slowly it like wears on your soul. But at the beginning, at least it's like bright and shiny.
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
Usually, like paint, like the last day of painting, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did that open? But the beginning's the great part.
No joke. No, that is so. I don't think there's any creative project that's not true about. It's like you think about all this wonder and this possibilities, and by the time it's like, man, this project needs over. Especially it's been a while. It's been weeks. It's been months. It's like,
But that's where the mental, like the mindset part comes in. Like you
true.
have to have a strong mindset to get through it sometimes.
I love that. I love that. All right.
Usually
So,
you just use the money. I'm like, if I finish this project, then I will get paid.
you know what? That is an amazing motivator.
I'm just like here to drop truth bombs.
All right. So, what is next? What is in the horizon? It's the new year, 2025. What is in the horizon for Lisa?
So I'm currently working on a deck of cards, which is like a bucket list item. I'm very excited about that. I do have another smaller mural going in the Guardian Stadium. It's for like this Art Deco restaurant, so it's like a little Art Deco mural. Very much looking forward to that. And like just a couple more things. The first time I'm working with like neon paints. We have Dayglow paint in Cleveland, and I'm doing a mural for their building.
Okay.
I'm very nervous. I've never used their paint before, and especially on an exterior mural. But I mean, it's for them, and I think they're gonna like hold my hand through the process a little bit. So
So
I'm excited to like.
with something like that, do you kind of test it out before you jump on the project?
I probably should. There's a lot. I mean, that's a good idea. There's a lot of people involved with this.
Okay,
Like,
okay,
it's the
okay.
wall primed with their primer. It's getting coated with their coater. But in regards to like using their paint, if anything bad happens, I'm like, say the paint doesn't work or doesn't hold up, which I'm pretty sure it will
Okay.
because they have exterior paint. But I could always paint over it with other paint.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
it's just paint. You could always paint over it.
Yeah, that's a perspective. So with the deck of cards, is this like a personal project or is this like a partnership or a client work? What?
You know, contracts have not been signed yet, but I will be looking at that. Someone approached me. He's trying to get like a group of maybe like 5 artists to do decks of cards, but
Oh,
like
nice.
take the audience with them through the process and even let the audience like kind of pick and choose. Like I came out with mood boards and I let the audience pick like which mood board they like best.
Hmm.
So we have that selected, and now I'm like onto the card design, and I'm really excited for that. But like I want to bring in the audience to help me make some of the creative decisions.
Oh, that's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that is definitely something that I think almost every designer at some point would love to do. So kudos to you. I can't wait to see it.
Well, actually, I've never done a project like this where I'm not getting paid anything up front, but it's in the contract. I will get a portion of the sales, and I've never like been on a project with that, so I just kind of want to see where it goes, and I'm kind of doing that as a learning experience.
Yeah, and I see. I like that you're willing to do stuff like that for either for the experience or for the exposure. What I do like is that you choose to do that. It's not like somebody's forcing you to do it.
Well, I mean, I'm getting up there, like in my upper 30 or like late 30s now. So I can't be doing murals forever and
Hmm.
all the time.
Hmm.
And trying to be more mindful of that. Like it's a lot on the body.
Yeah, I can
So like
imagine.
deck of cards, throwing some other things in there to try to mix it up, like that's very helpful.
Okay, cool. So as we're getting ready to close soon, what piece of advice would you have for anyone? They're getting ready to make their plans, probably have made their plans already for the new year. What advice would you have for them out
Um, don't listen to me.
there?
No. Just like advice. I don't try to stay open and kind of pick up on cues that the universe is telling you. I don't know. I went into last year thinking like, okay, I have two young kids. Like, let's be comfortable with taking a back seat. And then like I had my best year ever and was not expecting that at all. So
Hmm.
I like life is unpredictable. I could be having like the worst year this year, but like having a good mindset throughout and just kind
Hmm.
of taking life in waves as they come.
Hmm.
But yeah, and like try to explore and do like creative playground work.
Hmm.
Like take time to be your creative, authentic self, not just get in the weeds with client work
Hmm. I
if you
love
can.
that. I love that. I'll say, yeah, I would echo the whole idea of just, and I say, being ready to pivot. I don't think, because we all know, like, nothing goes as planned, and I think part of going with the mindset, the whole mindset deal that you've been talking about, is like just being ready for something to change and be okay with that and just go with
Oh my gosh, having kids was a huge help with that, like being ready for anything.
it. Hey, that's true. Kids will definitely change up your life in no time. And it doesn't.
Right.
I got three teens and a 11-year-old now, and it never ends.
How are they all doing?
They're doing great. Trust me, they make me proud. They're amazing in school. They're all straight A students, so it's I'm not
Well, that comes from the parents.
I'm not.
That comes from the
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I just struck too much fear in them or something. But but they're great kids. They do it. They're good kids. I mean, I tell them all the time, you're better
parents.
kids than I was when I was growing up.
That is so amazing to hear, though. I love that.
But I say that to say like them changing our world. That it's not only when they're toddlers, even as teens, they change your world. So I'm sorry. I don't know. You're welcome or sorry. Like it never ends.
No, it's the best job in the world, but the hardest job in the world too.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Well, Lisa, where can people go to find you and learn more about you?
I'm very active on all the social medias. Instagram, I'm at Lisa underscore Quine, lisaquine.com, and I don't know, LinkedIn, maybe. I'm
Hmm.
usually on Instagram though.
Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. Well, this has been amazing, Lisa. It's always great chatting with you, and I just love the energy. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Like this was exactly like therapeutic for me. I learned a lot, and definitely going to test those paints for this day glow mural first. Thank you for that. No, this was amazing, and I hope your listeners and the network you've built get something out of this.
Awesome.